Hello, everybody. It's not nice brony time as I jam to this sweet, sweet music. God, I love it so much. And I'm back. And when we last left off, we finally put Aristotle Means on the stand. And it turns out he is actually very mean. I guess that's the play on his name. He is a nightmare of a teacher in all reality. Anyway. Sorry, what? Hold on one second. Okay. For some reason, it wouldn't let me move between the stuff. Sorry about that weird pause right there. Anyway. Well, obviously, it was the Lady Justice statue.
Take that!
Ah! That's the statue! Yes, I believe it was the statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it as you see here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence!
Perhaps you're onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrap heap relic in such a tedious manner? Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming! You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to point us to the body. Professor Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cementing an alibi. That's quite persuasive argument. Wow, there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says, and says what he means by all means. Fine then, say it already. I'm waiting. The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage till they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial. So they answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time? That can be explained by, if the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage. This is not good, Athena. Our claim is this close to being beaten to a pulp. I know. We've come so far. Consider yourselves schooled. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone. Get it, fellow kids? Schooled. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be. Just wait a minute. Oh boy. Poor Juniper. She must seriously regret having asked you to defend her. Ugh. And to add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. Surely you hadn't forgotten that little fiasco. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer. Don't tell me I failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. I worked so hard to become a lawyer. I even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again? Athena, what's wrong? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax, Athena. Breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done. Is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would. Shut. Objection! You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me! It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against you. That's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things. Objection! What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and given me a chance to re-examine what's important. But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... It's not over yet, Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie, I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you never surrendered to the dark age of the law like the professor did. Thank you, Junie. But I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence!
Stop your bleating this instant. You look an utter fool. Scooter Blackwell? There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you know who. Gah, you're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers, for whom the ends justify the means.
Objection!
Don't worry, Athena, you're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him. But Apollo, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Professor Court wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know this because there wasn't any time to move the body from somewhere else. Abby's body has to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's stick along those lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from the hiding place? Well, let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He's using the span of time his fake alibi created to move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Professor Means could remove the body from his hiding place is during the mock trial. It was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech, obviously. Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to stage that wasn't there before specifically. White statue. During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the White Lady Justice in a school banner and sent it zipping down to the stage with a crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. But was there anywhere to hide the body on stage? It doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be some place. Wait a second. I have something that should have been finished but was only mostly done. Something was used to cover up the body, but it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. What was already on the stage and capable of concealing the body? The right statue? Oh, I know. The Mr. Right statue was never actually finished. That body was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside, cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the right statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night. Yes, what an impressive feat that was. No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Professor Court. Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow. He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Right. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked just like a statue. What? I second the what? Now this is getting interesting. No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible? We'll never know until we try. Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo, time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Right. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. And now I want you to wrap me up in a cloth so that I look like a statue. I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth? I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice. Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor. Alright, I think that about does it. What do you think, everyone? Do I look just like the statue of Mr. Right or what? Looks like some random person to me. Aren't the statues a pair of busts? Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head. Forget the hair, the statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway. Gotta hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait, that's it! The hands! Her arms are raised over her head. There are dark bruises around her wrists. Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something. The marks on her wrist indicated she'd been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Wait, you're not into this kind of thing, are you? What? No! Besides, it was your idea. Just help me to tie your hands already. Professor Quartz's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape of one, given her hands were tied? Behind my head. Apollo, tie both of my hands behind my head. See, this makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but then what about the statue's arm? With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the objection pose like this. Can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? Is it the arrow? Because the arrow sticks out.
Take that!
Oh, right! There was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side. Oh, what? Are you crazy? Fine, then go get some duct tape. Rapido schnell! Alright. I don't need to know other languages to know bossy when I hear it. The fatal arrow to the side. Spiky hair created from 2 hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now cover me with that cloth. But remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Mommy, the arm's too short. Shh, remember your device, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. But what else could he use for the arm? Still won't give up, huh? I must commend you, if only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. For all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation. And one that makes sense. Now, just point me again, and the penalty will be doubly painful. Yikes, I guess I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think. Professor Court was murdered when she stopped by the stage to see Professor Means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse. Apollo, show me those stage setup photos again. Like what, right now? Okay, hold on. Please, please, please be in this photo. It just has to be. The arm in Mr. Wright's statue is really this right here. The staff. It's long enough.
Take that!
Got it! I know what he used for an arm on the statue of Mr. Wright. This is absurd. There is no such thing in this photo. Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there. It's a staff? This is the spear of a great legal warrior. Whatever, just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo. Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
Objection!
It's Phoenix Wright. Look, it's that famous lawyer. Him, I know that pose anywhere. We did it, didn't we? Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring out us out of these dark ages and into an era of brilliant golden light. Golden light? All I see before me is the pink specter of a man. That's just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. He's positively tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink. Blah. That joke deserves a pink slip. It seems the gallery is quite impressed with Adventure sharp thinking. The witness? Bah! The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence. Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than mere coincidence. To prove that this spear was thrust into the victim, all I have to do is test the spear for blood. We had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it. Your Honor, a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. If I get rid of my spear. Wait, what if I burn it? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you. Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now I ask you in the gallery, help me decide the professor's fate. %20 salary cut. That breakdown was a little funny. It's a little bit too cheesy, but whatever. Prosecutor Blackwell, what has become of our witness, Aristotle Means? It is as Sykes-Turner suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to this heinous crime. All of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there. Great. He'll teach felons that the end justifies the means, so much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was? I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth. One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. Why not a former dentist, too? I eventually had him put pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at a length the day of the killing, right there on that stage. The result? The heinous crime that was brought before this court. The fool, like Newman, had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order to make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant. But the scrap of paper with Hugh's name had the same mark as Professor Quart's planner. Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class. Really? So then... Indeed, once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This too was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. No, that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes. I think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. The first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods, not guilty. I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you if we ever hope to restore law to its former glory. Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference. Badly serve Professor Quart's memory. Do not let her death be in vain. That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today. Court is adjourned. Thank you, Thena. I really mean it. It was nothing, really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that. I don't know. You looked pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively. You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo. Don't mention it. The way you were always there for Thena when she was in a bind. And at the detention center where your smile gave me hope when there was none. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down on peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person. Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do, and I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench. I promise you I'll get there someday. That's why, until that day, Guys, I've got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something? No, it's okay, I think. So what's the big news? The school festival! It was supposed to have been canceled after what happened, but... We just got a call. Memory of Professor Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow. Really? All right!
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the Guitar Serenade.
No singing. Aww. Wow, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. Ah, your singing voice, Juniper. It could melt my H-E-A-R-T. Mr. Wright, thank you for the training seminar. Just remember, the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win. Although Robin had you for a while there. I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. I'm going to make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and Hugh won? So does this mean it's really gonna happen? Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you. Huh? Oh, is he going to do what I think he is? Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends like we've always been. Huh? Best friends? You weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial? No, I was going to confess that I'm not a genius and that I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial. Whoops! Listen, Hugh, you too, Robin, Miriam. Me too. Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. I've been thinking, It's up to us to put an end to the Dark Age of the Law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in! I wouldn't have it any other way. Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship. You bet. And what about your BFF, Apollo? Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office. Hey, no talking about me behind my back. So what kind of guy is he anyway? Well, if I had to describe him in one word. So after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. Oh no. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. Oh no. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as, well... No! Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? Well... End. Well, that was, I liked that case. It was a great case overall. I mean, it didn't keep me engaged all the way through, like, all the Hughes stuff, I was kind of like, okay, this trial's gone on a little long for my liking. I guess it was important for the plot they wanted to set up to do it, but, like, I wasn't, like, out of it, like, I was completely just bored. I was just like, can we just accuse Means of all this already? Like, let's get this out of the way. So obviously him. But that's only my thoughts on the case. Good case. I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Anyway, I'm also curious as to what you guys think. And I will see you next time for Apollo Justice Dual Destinies. We will start the 4th and final case of Dual Destinies. I'm very excited to see what story it is. It'll obviously deal with the Dark Age of the Law. But thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Boney Time for more content, especially more Dual Destinies. Also, make sure to share this video far and wide to, reach as many eyes as possible. Also, tell me guys what you thought of the case in the comments below if you so wish. I'm very curious to see. And until then, I will see you all next time.